Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Feel Good Social Podcast. Oh man, I still can't get over how crazy it is that we've finally gotten this pod show on the road. Today's show is going to be awesome because we have a very special guest joining us. Her name is Delphine Gennison, and let me tell you, this lady is beautiful on the inside and out. Delphine is a personal stylist from my neck of the Rocky Mountain Woods, and she just launched her brand new sustainable clothing brand on January 1st. Her clothes are one of a kind and beautiful, so you'll definitely need to go check her out after this episode. Speaking of, you'll be able to find all the details in the show notes of this episode on your podcast player, or simply visit feelgoodsocial.com. Today's conversation with Delphine revolves around one of my favorite subjects, confidence. Maintaining confidence in yourself as a human being and a rad entrepreneur can be a struggle for all of us, especially if you're new to this game we call owning your own business and being your own boss. Delphine chats with us about how she maintains her confidence and continues to put herself out there, even when some people try to tear her down. So without further ado, let's roll the intro and get this conversation started. Hey friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Marketing your business on social media can take up so much of your precious time. Am I right? I, of all people, understand this, which is why I've created a free worksheet with all of my top time-saving tips for social media. This worksheet will walk you through 5 steps you can take to streamline your social strategy today and give you back precious minutes, hours, even days. I know it sounds crazy, but it's so true. To download this free worksheet, visit feelgoodsocial.com/save. Again, head to feelgoodsocial.com/SAVE to grab this free worksheet. Hi, Delphine. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Hi, Kinsey. Thanks for having me. I'm very, very excited this morning.
Yay. Okay, awesome.
So my name is Delphine Gennison. I come from a little town of France called Vichy. I came in Eagle about 7 years ago as an au pair, and I met my husband 6 months after I was here. So I never came back. I built my first business called Delphine Style. I built that about 5 years ago. It's a styling business. I've been styling and helping women on one-on-one to boost their confidence, declutter the closet, build outfits with what they already have. And I was also a lot working on photo shoot and video shoot for commercials campaign. So that was kind of like my first round in the fashion industry in Colorado.
That sounds so awesome. Did you have a styling background before that?
I do not. I did not. So that was very funny. When I arrived, I just, got women who started to ask me to come help them. And, it was very natural. And, oh, Delphine, you're from France. You have such a good style. Do you mind to come help me? And so that kind of started like that, as helping friends around. And then I definitely saw the need very soon after that.
Yeah, that is so amazing. I love it. And now you're about to launch a new clothing line, right?
Yeah. So since a year or so, I was, starting to brainstorm of building something bigger. I was, thinking of what is my next step in my entrepreneurship venture. So yeah, I was just starting to brainstorm. I knew that I wanted to do something with sustainability because it's just the future, period. So I quickly knew that it would have to do something with fashion, of course. And here I am. I built my sustainable clothing brand for women. It's called Delphine Gennison and Be Yourself and Beyond. It is a brand that guides women to become, better than yesterday, one garment at a time, with a whole lot of sustainable style tips. So for me, it was just very important to keep helping women to feel more confident, as any French woman would be. If I want women to be as powerful as possible, the clothes itself has to be powerful too.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And I cannot wait for your clothing line to launch. I'm so excited for
it. Thank you. I'm super excited. It's coming. It's coming. One more week and then we're there.
So by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be ready to go.
It'll be ready to go. Perfect.
Yay. Oh, it's so exciting.
So you may want to know why how it all started, because there's definitely a lot of brainstorm before to just say, hey, I'm going to be a designer and I'm going to launch my clothing brand.
Yeah.
Of course, I think now everyone is starting to be very affected about the fashion industry, and it's destroying our planet at a pace that we can't even imagine. And also how overwhelming it is, and it's just not doing anything good to Western women in general. I saw it. I worked with women. I see how overwhelmed they are in front of their closet, not knowing how to pair the last couple garments they bought, not sure if it really fits their body, not sure if they have any occasion to wear it more than once. I mean, the struggle is real, and we all facing it every single morning. I definitely had that on the back of my mind. I also been following a lot of sustainable clothing brand on Instagram. I was myself facing some problem with it. I was just like, if I have some problem and some question about it as a stylist, I'm probably not the only one having some question. And here's what I was facing when I was kind of scrolling all those brands. Sustainable fashion can be very simple. And for someone who loves style and fashion, like you don't really find your style. It's very simple. And even some women told me that it's boring. So how can we make sustainable fashion a little bit more attractive, sexy, and fun? So that was kind of like my first big interrogation. Sustainable fashion can be expensive, and we all know that a top dress can go from 250 to 500 a piece, and it's not everyone who can afford it. So how can we come back to something more reasonable? It won't be a $30 type of Target T-shirt. This is just not possible in a fashion industry in the real world. But we can make something more affordable. And then there's the other fact. For someone who wants to improve her lifestyle, her style in a more sustainable way, where do we start? There's a whole lot of perfection and judgments out there. It's just like the everything or nothing. And so how can we switch that? How can we allow women to become more sustainable without feeling that nasty pressure of you're not good enough, you're not being good enough, and you're not being good enough? How can we switch that over?
Mm-hmm. Every little bit helps.
Exactly. We don't need a whole sustainable wardrobe. We just need to add one garment at a time and build it with what we already have. And that's how you start to be sustainable. It's really one step at a time.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love this. And I love this conversation. And I do want to get into the questions that we talked about. But I kind of just want to know a little bit more about what makes your clothing sustainable.
Yeah. How we can become sustainable in the fashion industry. There is so many fabrics and rolls that are already out there that other company doesn't want anymore because there is not enough yards to make a collection out of it, or because the shade of gray they order was not the one they wanted and is not good enough. So all that just piled up into warehouse, and we call that the dead stock market. And there's a whole lot of fabric we can reuse and still make beautiful garments with it. By reusing and roll fabric, we can still be on trend, and we can still be reducing our waste for our planet, and without even having to think about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. One of the things that I admire the most about you is your confidence. And I actually reached out to you to do this interview after reading one of your Facebook posts about a woman who asked you about what you charge for your styling services. And then she tried to tear you down afterward about that and kind of questioned your own worth even. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It was a very interesting experience. So I was assisting to a woman entrepreneur forum, just a place where you're supposed to lift each other up, right? But I guess she was not at the right place, this woman. And she was actually very interested about my mission for a while. And, asking about my passion for styling, helping women with confidence, the whole fair trade, the whole sustainable way. So I was just on and super excited to tell her my story. And then she just asked me at some point how much I was charging for my styling and if I could do a closet in an hour, which is, absolutely not possible. She literally looked at me in the eyes and told me, "Well, I really don't think I need you then. I don't even know you. I don't even know if you're worth it enough." And I really dropped my mouth down and I almost fall off of my chair. Just like, is she joking or but no, she was very serious. So I definitely, said to her that I was definitely, worth it. I think this woman was just not worth my time, and I just went to sit somewhere else and stop the conversation very very easily and quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I have a little bit of personal experience with having someone kind of question your intentions and your worth and your abilities. And I'm wondering, was that kind of like the first time someone had done that to you, or had you experienced that in the past and so you're a little bit more prepared, or
No, I mean, I'm prepared in a way that I'm not a new entrepreneur, and I gotta be comfortable to put myself out there. I'm not. It's not everyone who's gonna love my endeavor and lift me up all the time. So as a woman entrepreneur, we just have to be prepared and tough it up. And as much as we know our skills and our worth and our mission and the why we're doing it, then we can face anything. And this type of negativity just won't stop me. I just you just pass, you just let it flow. It did not bother me. It shocked me that women can do that type of thing, because I am more like a I love to lift women up and fix their crown if something is not right. But it's not everyone who is like that. So we just gotta know not everyone has great intention. Most do, of
yeah,
course.
hopefully, but there are the stinking people out there, you know?
There
Oh
is.
man. Do you feel like you've had that inner confidence since you were little? Like, do you think that you grew up kind of learning to be confident, or when do you think you kind of adapted that mindset?
No. So I used to be terrible, actually. I used to be very afraid of the world itself. It's just an ongoing exercise when you are an introvert like me. It takes a lot of my energy to go socialize and put myself out there. I mean, to be honest with you, 5 years ago or before, I would have just been devastated to that type of comment. I would have been on tears. I would have left the room, and I would have give all my power to that type of person. So it definitely takes a lot, because I'm an introvert. But you just learn, and experience just give you confidence too.
Yeah, that's so interesting because I don't think I knew that about you, that you're an introvert.
Yeah,
I was actually listening to a different podcast about this the other day, how extroverts are extroverts, man. They
yeah,
thrive in community. They are just out there. They want to be out there. And introverts can pretend to be extroverts.
yeah,
We can go and work the crowd, but it's just that internal feeling that really no
yeah,
one sees. And so sometimes it's really
yeah.
hard to pick out an introvert.
It's getting more harder because there's a lot of introvert entrepreneur and businesswoman. And to be an entrepreneur, you have to put yourself out there. Like, you can brainstorm in your own basement on your own for hours, but at the end of the day, you really have to put yourself out there. So sometimes you can have hard time to see who is an introvert or not. It takes a lot to recover from all those social world, and it's dragging. And when I spend 2 hours socializing, I'm coming home and I'm exhausted, because I gave so much energy and I'm receiving so much energy that I'm tired. So there is definitely a balance, a personal balance to find with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that being introverted relates to confidence in such an interesting way. There's an inner confidence, and then there's also the external confidence, the affirmation from other people.
Yeah.
And a lot of the confidence, the external at least, could stem from really putting yourself out there. But it's hard for us on like so many levels.
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh, man. Okay. So I would love to know, how do you like process and deal with negative feelings whenever they're coming at you?
Well, as I say, when you know your why and when you know your mission and what you're doing for what you're doing, why you're getting up every morning at 5 a.m. and that's just your best way to be confident. Really, that's my way to see it. That's how I deal with negativity. I just remind myself constantly, why am I doing what I do? When you keep receiving comments and emails and text message and people hiring you, and you know when it's all that positivity coming to you, you just don't stop with one negative thing from someone else who don't even know you. So remind yourself constantly your why and your mission.
Yes, I love that you said that. Remind yourself, because I feel like 90% of our lives are pretty positive. You know what I mean? Or at least
Yeah.
they could be, but it's that 10% of negativity that we focus on for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you have to like be aware and deliberately shift your mindset. Remind
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even like to like type things out. I have a list of my client testimonials in the
Yeah.
Word document. If I'm feeling negative, I'll just go to that and be like, oh, I did help that person. I did help that person.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Just read it again. Remind yourself constantly on why you're doing what you do. And, most of people see it.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any other tips for those amazing business women out there who might be just struggling with their confidence right now? I feel like we all have those moments sometimes.
Well, guess what? I think that your second most powerful weapon will be your style.
Yeah.
Clothes tell us who you are without having to speak, and it's just so well known. Funny enough, I have to come back to that woman, the one who tried to put me down. She told me that sometimes she never knew what to wear, and she missed so many events and invitation for lack of confidence. I wish she can call me back so we can work on that. But invest your money on something that will help you the best for yourself in the next year or the next couple of years. I mean, hiring a stylist for 500 or $1,000 for the next five years, it can be game changer in your entrepreneur and your business. And when you get out there, you have the right style, you feel good in your skin, you just feel powerful, and your vibration is higher, your energy level is higher, and people see it, and you attract your people.
I love that you just brought that up, and it totally caught me off guard, which I have no idea why. But as soon as you said that, I was just like, oh, yes, you are so right. Because, I work on my confidence a lot.
Yeah.
I tend to lean toward the unconfidence or incompetence, whatever it is. And, I feel like a lot of people do, but I have my go-to outfits that make me feel good. And if I do my hair all pretty and actually wear makeup for once, it's like I feel so much more confident. And then confidence is one of those things that is just so, so important for a businesswoman, because people totally vibe off confidence. They don't want to buy from someone who's being wishy-washy or doesn't believe in themselves. How are they supposed to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself,
Exactly. That's the perfect thing to say. It is so important. And I saw so many women where, we build outfits and they just like, oh my gosh, I would never put that together, and taking picture and, before to go an event or something, texting me and say, oh my gosh, look how I'm looking. I'm so happy. And, it's just the best rewards. And it's wonderful what style can do.
Yeah.
Never underestimate what style can do for you.
Definitely. Okay. I would love to know, just because I'm curious, when you are working with someone and styling them and figuring out, what's going to make them feel the most confident and look the greatest and all that stuff, where do you start?
So I usually bring my rack, and then we just go one by one. And first of all, we start to get rid of things that are just, outdated, that it, has a hole or needs to be fixed, or something that's in your closet that you love, but it misses a button. So you just never wear it. Doing that type of thing first will help. and then we just build outfit. And sometimes your clients have question and just like, I love that top, I just don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just start to pull thing out and, all right, put it on, try it on. Like, I don't mind seeing people in underwears. I saw them before, so they just put it on.
No shame, just do it.
No shame, just do it.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Do you ever get clients who have body issues or like are self-conscious about a certain part of their body or like wearing something a certain way and you have to work through that with them?
Yeah. The problem is not the body itself. There is no better body than another. The problem is what type of clothes you're wearing and what fits you right and what doesn't fit you. This is the problem with fashion, with a big F. It's like we don't know what works well for us. We just follow trends without knowing what's good for her body type or not. When you style someone and someone who has a little bit of complex with her hips, you try to work with what she has and then put away what doesn't work and show her, see, when you put that on, the difference that they make when you put that on yourself. And so it really, it's teaching them. It's not just styling, it's teaching them so they can replicate and learn. And instead of buying again the same thing that won't work, teach them what works the best for them.
Definitely. Let's chat about some social media a little bit.
Yay.
Because, that's what I do. So we got to talk about it. Okay. I would love to know, how do you feel about using social media to market your business?
Well, social media is definitely very, very important for the type of business that I have. There is definitely the pros and the cons. It's just a wonderful asset to put my message out there without having a physical store. Social media has bring me a lot of amazing contact. I met many people through it, and it's just the best way to see, what other badass women and men are doing in this valley and beyond. And it's usually super inspiring. And then the con. So, social media can also be a big problem for confidence. It can be very degrading. And I'm speaking more for women, who are just not following the right people. There is a ton of super fashionistas where perfection is a priority. They have the perfect home. They have the perfect family. They have the perfect sustainable closet. When you follow that type of thing over and over, it really makes you feel not good enough. That can be a very dangerous area to go in on Instagram, typically in a fashion industry. So it's hard to find very authentic Instagram and person and showing what is the real life. And so it's what I really try to do through my brand as well.
Yeah, and I do love watching your Instagram stories where you're showing us a little behind the scenes and you make them super personable and everything. And it's really nice, definitely refreshing, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. It's not all rose. There's definitely a lot of challenge all the way. Sometimes I'm not inspired to post something, a story, and I'm in lack of inspiration. And I'm a human being before to be a brand, and it's good also to see what struggle a owner business can face on a daily basis through Instagram. Why not?
I think that just the way Instagram and social media are trending, honestly, is I think people are getting a little bit fed up with that perfect life. And I think that they're looking more for that genuine realness.
I agree.
I'm really excited you're pursuing that, especially in the fashion industry. I think it'll make people love you more.
Cool. I'm all about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I guess up to this point, what do you think you've found the most success with when using social media to market your businesses?
I think, and it comes a lot with the authenticity that
Are you enjoying this episode right now? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down? I would absolutely love for you to leave a review on iTunes or Spotify and let me know what you like most about this podcast. Because I'll be honest, your opinion means the world to me. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason I've committed to putting out this fresh content every week. And I'd love to hear what you think. So I guess up to this point, what do you think you've found the most success with when using social media to market your businesses?
I think, and it comes a lot with the authenticity that we were just talking about. The success that I've been seeing in a few couple of weeks that I started to do that new Instagram, it's the content. for a long time, I thought that, posting a pretty picture on social media was enough. It is not. You really have to speak your truth, what you have in your heart. What is your mission? Again, what is your why? People are actually very interested on those details. They love to see the inside of the story. And I have been just getting so many inside message, private message and comment, and seeing people on the streets and just say, oh my gosh, like what you're saying is awesome. And I'm just like, wow, this is revelation. Like I'm really putting myself out there in many ways in my business challenge, how I meditate, how I'm doing my day, and how I'm being fashionable, how I advise people to be sustainable, all of that, and it's people love that type of story. People love the authenticity.
Yes. And I'm so glad you brought that up because, yeah, Instagram, started out as like a visual platform and it's
Yeah.
just not enough anymore. People need those stories, especially if you really want to make that connection with someone and build a relationship, bring them into your community. They need to get to know you more on like that
Yeah.
personal or story level versus just the photo.
Yeah. Yeah. Just selling a product or, just putting the outfit of the day type of thing that we saw millions time on Instagram. It's just not working anymore. This is not what people are looking for. And I really realized that those past couple weeks, and it's very encouraging to just write more and just dig into more the details. It's awesome.
Oh, that is so amazing. I have a random question. Well, kind of.
Yeah.
The post that I saw that you put on Facebook about the woman, who questioned you. And
Yeah.
firstly, I loved the story because you shared this issue and then you shared the solution. You weren't just complaining about this woman. You were sharing a full story and an inspiration. And so I think that was just so key to that story. That's what made it so moving and like digestible.
Yeah.
If it would have just been complaining, people would have reached out, said, oh, I've been there. I know, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been as like, and I know you weren't posting it to be strategic, but just sharing that full story helps people look up to you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
I think my question is, I didn't see, did you post that same story on Instagram or did you only
I
post
did.
it on?
No, I usually do both. I don't have yet, the ability to have like two different type of stories on Instagram and Facebook. I know that some people do it, but there is always a lot of people helping behind the scene, and I'm the one woman show. So what I post on Facebook, I usually post on Instagram, and it's not always the same people who are following me on both platforms. So I make sure that it's on both.
Yeah. And I think that that's completely okay. I think that's great. I actually get that question a lot.
Yeah.
People have asked me, I feel like if I post the same exact thing to Facebook and Instagram, my audience will be like, oh, she's just posting both of them to the same one. I'm like, well, usually people really aren't hanging out on the same platforms all the time.
Yeah.
They're spending most of their time on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. So they probably won't see it on both. And if they do, a lot of times people have to hear the same message again and again and again. They say people have to hear something 7 times before they can really digest it in there.
Really, really digest it. Yeah. I agree with you.
And I think that also that story works for both Instagram and Facebook. Sometimes different audiences hang out on different platforms, but I think a story like that is really great for both of those platforms.
Well, it's good to know because I'll do it again.
Yeah, keep going for it, girl. I'm all for just getting things done. That's the key to marketing. Just do it. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put things out there. Just get it done.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. I think that's the golden rule, maybe. But I would love to know from you, what is one big and impactful lesson that you have learned from owning your own businesses?
Ooh, I think the power of giving was and still is my biggest and impactful lesson. You just don't get anything in life if you're not willing to give first. Giving you time, giving love, giving personal tips, advice. This has taught me a lot on how to become a good entrepreneur. And to give you a couple example of just those past couple of weeks, I got one of my clients who called me on the day before Thanksgiving, and she just lost her husband, and she has to build a couple outfits for ceremonies and events. And she was just not inspired, devastated, obviously. And so you just drop everything. And if you have like a nice weekend plan, well, you go help your client. And that's a good way to be a good entrepreneur. And then even if for my India team, sometimes I just get a call at 10 p.m. on Sunday night. They're already working. It's Monday morning in India. You just get out of bed and you get them on a call and make sure they understand what they need to do. And they're making your dreams happening. So you really have to be willing to give your time and give love and give compliments and thank everyone. And that's just definitely been my most impactful lesson. The more I've been giving and the more I've been receiving, and your compensation is based on how many people's lives you touch. And if you want more success, then find a way to serve more people. It's that simple.
Yeah. I think a lot of business owners struggle with that sometimes. They think it's the me show, but it's all about your customers. Your customers are what makes your business. Your employees are what make your business. It's about everyone else creating this for you, and you're just there to kind of lead and keep things organized and all of that stuff. I would love to know, do you ever struggle to say no? How do you maintain boundaries in your life?
It is hard to say no. When you're beginning a new business, you just don't want to miss any opportunities. So I think it's kind of like a natural way at the beginning to say yes to everything. But then when you exhaust yourself and you get up on the morning and you're just exhausted and not interesting to do anything, that you gotta slow down. You gotta maintain a good life balance. I know when my body shut down for one day and I wake up half on tears, I'm just like, all right, today I'll just take it slow and say no to everything I need to do. And, I'll cook something good and go to the gym or go outside. And that's 12 hours reset me. And then I'm on again. But it's very important to just slow down.
Yeah, your body tells you when it's ready.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When it's ready, it's ready. I got that the day before Christmas. And I was just like, all right, it's just not going to be a good day. let's just drop everything. It's going to be okay. Let's wait 24 hours and everything is going to be fine.
I think too, and I struggle with this, which is why I'm saying a lot of business owners struggle. Maybe they do. A lot of times with me, I'm like, instead of just shutting down and taking that full day of rest, I will try to do a little here, do a little there, or rest in smaller increments. But I think that shutting down and blocking everything out and just taking that full 12 hours for yourself resets you so much better than just trying to do little bits at a time.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly learning that.
Yeah, it's very funny what you're saying, because I just feel the same way. And sometimes to do a little bit there and a little bit there, I just don't feel I'm productive, and it play a lot in my mind. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing anything that I need to do. And yeah, I'm definitely on a reprogramming for 2020. And how can I achieve more, be more in the morning, and do my workout on the afternoon, for example. That type of thing is just very important. You got to figure out what works best for you or not.
I think that's so true. A lot of online business owners that are helping other people build a business, they're like, follow these steps, these exact steps, and you'll have a 6-figure business. And it's like, no. Some people are morning.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Oh my gosh, Delphine. Well, I have loved our conversation. I think it's been so insightful and amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I want to thank you so much for coming on this show and chatting with me. And
thank you for having me.
So before I let you go, please tell the listeners, where can they find you and connect with you?
So it's DelphineGennison.com, and social media as well, Facebook and Instagram. I at Delphine Gennison. I think it's very important right now. If I can say that we need something good with social media. It doesn't cost a lot of money to share someone's endeavor, and when someone is really working hard to contributing to a better world, or to your world, I would so appreciate that someone just share my posts or stories or tag me, tell me that they need to follow me. I think it's just the best rewards an entrepreneur can get, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. And I'm also willing to receive. I give a lot, and the more I will receive, the more I'll be able to give in the future. So I would so appreciate that type of help. Social media is for that as well.
Yes. Okay, definitely. Everyone go stalk Delphine. I will totally link all of your stuff in the show notes below. It'll be so awesome. She has 2 amazing accounts on Instagram. Her Facebook is amazing, and her clothing line is about to be amazing as well. I'm so excited.
Thank you. Thanks, Kinsey, for having me. It was a pleasure to share my story with you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again somewhere.
Yay! Okay, awesome. Have a great day, Delphine. Bye.
Bye. You too. Thank you very much.
How awesome is Delphine? I just loved that chat with that lady. She is so cool, and her clothing line is amazing. I just want to be her. And I truly, truly admire her confidence. I hope that you do as well. And I hope that you gained something from our conversation today. Definitely check out all of our links in the show notes. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't joined yet, we have an awesome free Facebook community for the Feel Good Social podcast. It's called the Feel Good Social Club on Facebook, and you should totally join to connect with other rad entrepreneurs like yourself. I'll be dropping into the group every week to give you personalized tips about your social media marketing and do live trainings about specific topics that might be a little confusing. To join the group, you can go to feelgoodsocial.com. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.